Okay, hey guys. I'm not sure what happened there. We're having some technical difficulty, but we have part 1 that's already been uploaded. Um so you can see that on our channel. But we have some technical difficulties. So, where we left off was Shawnee is actually moving back to she's moving back to she's moving to Houston. And so she says she's moving to Houston to be closer with her kids because apparently two of her kids are they're going to LSU for basketball. And then one of her kids lives in Atlanta. So she just wants to be closer to them. And I think that she is moving to Houston to be closer to her kids, but I also feel that she's also moving to Houston for the production of Basketball Wives. I think there's a Basketball Wives series that's supposed to be coming on um for I think it's either in Dallas or Houston. I'm not sure which one, but I think that's another reason why she is going to be moving to the South. And I feel like a lot of them actually relocated to the South. Malaysia relocated, um, Jen relocated. So a lot of the ladies are actually relocating. Yeah. So I don't know about the season premiere. Mm, it was okay. I think it was I'll definitely say it was okay. It wasn't the best one, but a lot of the storylines are pretty repetitive so far. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel too much about it, but so far. Okay, so the next thing we actually get is Shawnee, she tells the other ladies that she's actually leaving. She tells Jackie, and my thoughts are I don't know, like, if the group dynamic is going to necessarily change with or without Shawnee being in the group because I feel like the ladies seem a little bit more comfortable with Shawnee. I don't know, like, I feel like nothing's really going to change because Shawnee is just, it's like Shawnee is like their boss. So I don't think that they're going to be, they're going to be less, like, I feel like they're going to be more themselves if Shawnee's not there because there may be things that they're afraid or scared to tell Shawnee. But since Shawnee is going to be out of the picture, she's going to be moving. I feel like maybe we'll get, I don't know, maybe some realness from the ladies, but I don't know. We'll see. We will see. All right. So we also get, who do we get? Okay. So we have OG and Kwame. They actually go to a mattress store and they are actually in the process of building a house. That's really, that's really good for OG building a house. But my only question for OG is you are planning to build a home with Kwame, who you are not, like, you guys are dating, but you guys are not really, like, I feel like you should be planning to build a house with your husband, not your boyfriend. So that's my only question for OG. Like, I mean, I'm excited that she's building her own home. That's really, really good. She bought land. So she's building her own home. So that's really good to hear and stuff and to know. But the only question is, would you want to build a house with someone you're someone who is your boyfriend? Okay. So that's really, really interesting. Um, all right, so the next thing, oh, hey Lucy.
Hey, sorry, I had to get some things situated. Of course, you know how some technical issues.
Oh
But I'm
yeah, I
here.
do understand.
Yeah,
I think you still have my picture.
yeah. So
Yeah. But I don't know, like, I don't know how I feel so far about the season. Oh, hey, B. Yeah, that's my only question for OG. So Jackie and OG, they also meet up, and OG's telling Jackie about how she's feeling so far, especially how the other girls treated her with the whole colorism statement. And Jackie, she's like in disbelief about what OG is saying, the statement that she is making. And she doesn't feel like Evelyn is a colorist or Evelyn is racist. So she doesn't feel like Evelyn is either of those. Um, what are your thoughts about that, Lucy?
Um, though with the whole, are you speaking of what my thoughts are?
For Jackie not feeling that Evelyn and Shawnee, well, Evelyn is a racist or a colorist.
That's interesting because Jackie, I mean, Jackie has been in the show with Evelyn for quite some time. So she knows Evelyn. So it's interesting that she says that because it's like, I think that Jackie, as I mean, didn't she have a situation in the past where she was, Evelyn had made some comments or in regards to her and her daughter's situation in the past. But not that I'm saying it was related to being a colorist, but it could definitely fit into that narrative. And I mean, I'm pretty sure she's seen some things, go circulating around, and not just but the altercation that happened with both OG and Evelyn last season. I mean, I feel that could, if anyone else could see that, why couldn't Jackie, out of everyone but Jackie Christie, cannot see how colorist that was, or some of the stuff that Evelyn has done, not even to OG, but made personally in the past, like, the way she used to treat some of the girls in the past. So I don't understand why how Jackie doesn't think she's a colorist,
Yeah,
and also with how the current situation, like how the her Evelyn was circulating while all this was going on, the news of her being a colorist. Like, how does she not? How does she not think that she's a colorist? Like, I don't understand it.
yeah, it's like just because someone doesn't, maybe they don't make derogatory statements towards you, doesn't mean that they are not colorist. Obviously, Jackie should feel like they've said things about OG that was very colorist. And for Jackie to not see that, I'm just so confused. I honestly feel bad for OG. I'm just like, OG, what are you even doing back on this show? Because I just feel so bad for her because I feel like everyone is trying to um everyone is trying to disregard what she's saying and stuff, and they're not like taking it seriously. Even like Shawnee, when Jackie was telling her like, do you feel, would you want to talk to OG, like have a conversation? Shawnee just looked like she's like, well, I mean, if she feels like we offended her anyway, it's just like no one's like listening, like no one's listening to, and it's like no one's trying to understand.
Exactly. Okay, so B Stokes says, I don't know why they're playing on our intelligence and gaslighting OG.
They are. Even the one person I felt like would have some kind of understanding, like Jackie, I felt like Jackie would at least, because she was a little kind of, vocal, but now it's just like things has completely changed. It's so weird to see, like,
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm thinking, did she feel? I wonder if it has anything to do with maybe her impact on the show, or she feels like if she gets into this, what, how her reinstatement be regarding the show?
well, that's why I do kind of like that Shawnee is moving. She quote unquote is, but I feel like it might have to do that she's moving to Houston, quote unquote. I feel like they're probably telling Shawnee it's like her exit. like that might be her exit to like, she shouldn't be a cast. She has to either choose between being a producer or a cast member. So Shawnee's quote unquote, she's moving to Houston.
That's a good point. Oh well, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Now that you're saying it, because again, like I was saying, it's like Shawnee is more of a friend to all, like especially with her and Evelyn than she is of a producer, like that having that role. Because the conversation we were having earlier, it's like, would you feel like you can? How would it feel if Shawnee was to leave the show, or you did feel like the girls everything would still be the same? And I said, yeah, everything will still be the same because Shawnee really didn't make much impact as far as getting the ladies together when it comes to like situations like the OG and Evelyn situation. Jen, it is just I just felt like she was in the middle of all of this, not necessarily media.
Yeah, like that's I don't even think that Shawnee yeah. Shawnee, she needs to leave. Like she does not need to be on the show. She either yep, I agree, B. I think that she either needs to be a EP or a cast member. So I feel like her moving to Houston, of course, it's for her kids to be closer to her kids. But I think that it's also, her choosing to be an EP versus a cast member.
Exactly. I feel like she's been way too comfortable. Hopefully, with this situation, I think that maybe shed some light. Last season, I'm just saying, but I could be wrong. And I feel like she's probably like, okay, I think that I need to come back to reality because it seems like all the seasons, she's been more of a cast member than a producer.
Yeah, and Shawnee and Evelyn, they're like very ignorant to the fact that it's like they're just not understanding like what it's like they're being very oblivious to anything that what OG is saying. Just like what? Like just like ugh. I mean, I don't know. They probably just want to keep a storyline going, but this is just it's not a healthy like they don't even want to have a healthy dialogue. But OG and so OG and um Evelyn cannot be in the same vicinity with each other because, of course, at the moment they're like suing each other. So even if they want to have a conversation, they can't because it's become legal. Evelyn filed a legal. She filed. I don't know like what she filed. A defamation of character lawsuit on OG.
Hmm.
Yeah. um Yeah, and another reason why Evelyn still does not want. She still doesn't get it. She's still victimizing herself like a professional. Like it's like she's turning around everything to victimize herself.
But how would Evelyn feel? How would So let me just say this. It seems like a lot of people are not holding her accountable for some of these things. They're not bringing to her attention like, hey, I feel like you need to, like, so when has Shawnee ever set Evelyn down and said, Evelyn, like, had a really serious talk with her? Because we the viewers are seeing it as Evelyn has been, I wouldn't use the word, well, I'm just going to say destructive, like in the past. Very confrontational. She's ready to pop off at any moment. And it just seems like no one has really held her accountable. Even Jackie Christie doesn't see that she's colorist. So this is Evelyn. How is Evelyn realizing that? Like, if no one else is, okay, let's make this clear. Okay, yes, Evelyn is not realizing that um she's not realizing that she's saying some things that could potentially be a colorist, but also what are those people around her, Jackie Christie and Evelyn, those people that are close to her, what are they saying to her? It's like they're not really sitting down and talking to her and saying, hey, just chill, like this is getting out of hand a little bit. Hopefully, maybe in a way Evelyn could understand, but it just seems like no one's really holding her accountable.
Yeah, and Evelyn will never learn. Like she will never. learn if you have naysayers, people who are just going to always like agree with her. How could she learn? How could she ever have that a conversation? Because if no one's telling her what she's doing is wrong, only the public, and you don't, and none of her good Judies like Jackie and Shawnee is, telling her like what she did was wrong, she'll never learn. She's gonna keep making the same mistake, and it's gonna be like it's okay, which when it's not, because you have OG who's telling you this is how she feels, and then you go back and file a defamation of character.
Exactly.
And you
Exactly.
don't,
Yes, be so right. Yep,
yeah,
they never.
mhm. And then she wants to, once again, trying to play with the audience. And she wants to have like, she's like, oh, I'm all about charity, like making sure it's like I'm this like giving Evelyn, I'm doing charity to try to win over the audience while you still had not yet apologized to OG.
Or accountability. I have never heard Evelyn say, you know what? And it's like it's like you have those cast members that come back and say, there's I'm just kind of like they give us a different narrative or a different view of them from the past. But it seems like Evelyn has never. It's something she's always every season she's getting worse or she's just staying the same. It's like there's really haven't been a change. It's like, sis, you really do need to make some changes into and take some accountability for some of your actions.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree. Be like, none of her friends, nobody holds her publicly accountable. Not even Malaysia, not like nobody. I feel like Jen was the only person from the cast that held her accountable. Even Jackie hasn't even held Evelyn accountable. Now she's like Jackie's saying like, she doesn't feel like Evelyn is a color. Yeah, she may not be a colorist towards you or racist towards you or so, but she is, just because she's not doing it to you, but she's doing it to other people.
Yeah, but if okay, so let's look at Jackie and let's look like okay, let's just say okay, let's Jackie and let's look at OG, right? Jackie has that, and I believe this is her hair. So it's like Jackie to her, she's looking at Jackie more of like Kristen. Kristen, she has that nice hair, maybe like a good skin, or she's not maybe looking at it from that perspective.
Hmm.
And
So
she
it,
knows that Jackie a real house, like a real basketball wife. Because again, her and Doug are still together. So she maybe have an eptom like maybe she has a higher, she thinks maybe a higher echelon for Jackie. Maybe she thinks higher of Jackie because all of this.
exactly. Yeah, like she just feels that Evelyn, she it is just like recycle. Like we've seen this over and over again from Evelyn. Like the when she hit Jennifer, whatever she did with Jennifer, she came in, she went to Iyanla, fixed my life, and she came in like, she's this new improved Evelyn and all this stuff. Evelyn she hasn't changed. She's still the same person, still the same. She still has the same spirit, regardless if she's doing um charity and all this stuff that she's trying to show us. She's still the same person. She still has not changed.
Exactly. And you can see right through and it just seemed like it's forced. Like I believe they went to like is it they did some charity and it
Yeah.
just seemed like it was forced, like and it's something that she said. It's like she was like, hey, we're bringing you guys food. I was just like, if you're doing charity work, it isn't you don't have to speak of it. It's just something that's coming from your heart. That's what charity's all about. Why does it feel like it's forced? Why do you feel like you have to entertain the audience or entertain the viewers? Again, like you said, Sin, like have the audience and the viewers have a different perspective on who you are or who you were.
Yeah, and mind you, look how it is. It happened on the first episode, like the very first episode. Like, oh, Evelyn's doing charity work. She's like, oh, Evelyn. As if we're supposed to look past what she's doing. Yeah, it's okay. Your cast members can do that. They can, continue to tell you, like, Evelyn, you're not doing your Evelyn, you're great. You're not doing anything wrong. Doesn't mean the view you can lie. You can deceive the viewers. Yeah, you can deceive your cast members. You can't deceive the viewers.
Exactly. It's and it with with all of this, because this was last season, whatever happened last season with the colorist situation, it was all over. It was one of the hot topics. And it's till today, it seems like no one, it's like nothing is happening. Shawnee O'Neal is not really speaking much of it. It seems like Jackie, her own, has to bring it up to Shawnee.
Mm-hmm.
Like that as executive producer, see, that's what I'm talking about. She was more of a friend to Evelyn than she is of trying to get the girls together, like try to like amend things, So it's like, what are you doing? Like, what exactly are you doing, Shawnee? What role are you playing here?
Yeah, that's why like I told you, this whole Shawnee's going to Houston and all this stuff. That's just a way
Definitely
for
better.
they're saying that Shawnee's leave. Like she's not going to be a cast member anymore. She's just going to be a producer, EP. But I think that's pretty much one
Yeah,
of the reasons it could
let's
be.
and if she does, and if that is happening, let's see how the dynamic changes with the ladies. Like, when it comes to Evelyn, how are these ladies going to mend their situation?
Right, right. And I also feel like, once again, the reason why I'm still like Shawnee still, she can make all these tweets like she understands. She still doesn't understand because still saying that, oh yeah, I want to meet with OG, but I just want to meet with her if it's not going to be like like hostile or any like child. It's like, you guys are the only person that's being childish. Why? Like, that's what I'm saying. Shawnee still has not learned. Like, she still doesn't get it. Yeah, Shawnee, I think she she's just her going to Houston, it is a way of her, saving face and, leaving the hostility and just kind of leaving it for the girls and, taking the blame from her, and the blame is going to go on Evelyn. She's not ready to have that conversation, that deep conversation yet.
I
So
don't
she's
get
gonna leave
that.
it up to Evelyn to have
She
that.
even
And
feels like it when Jackie brought it up to her. She just didn't even. She's like, oh, like you see, like, oh, it was colorist. Oh, there was something actually. There was really a situation relating to that. It's like she was just trying to act dumbfounded.
yeah, oblivious. That's what I'm saying. She still has not, like, she doesn't care. Shawnee just doesn't care. That's why she's like exiting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
point.
And it was brief how she exited. Like, I thought she was, gonna exit during like when her kids were going to college. This was like filmed back in March. And they usually, school usually starts in, well, I guess they play basketball, so maybe she already moved down there. But she went pretty briefly. Anyways, okay, so in another scene, so we meet Liza this episode. What do you think about Liza so far?
Liza, there's really, I mean, she was Lamar Odom's ex-wife. She says she's, taking care of her kids currently at the moment. And there's really nothing much I would say, because I mean, we didn't really get much right from Liza. She's just introducing herself, and that was about it.
Yeah, I feel like she seems really, really sweet, like just a nice just something some like so realistic, but I don't know. Like, we're just meeting Liza now. But I don't know, she seems like a sweet lady. So she's saying that, the whole controversial, issue, like, with Lamar and his mental health, it's taking a toll on her kids. Like, it's taking a toll on her kids. And yeah, and it because it's taking a toll on her kids, it's also taking a toll on her. So I feel like her whole storyline, she's moving back to LA and Shawnee wants to introduce Liza to the rest of the ladies. So she introduces Liza to Evelyn in Malaysia, pretty much.
True. Yeah, it
That's
wasn't.
true. Do you think that
Yeah,
Liza's gonna get along with, do you think that she's gonna get along with the rest of the ladies so far or what?
I think that she is going to get along with the ladies because the way she came out just a little realistic,
Mm-hmm.
and seems like she's just going to be genuine. So
Yeah.
just by the look,
Yeah, I do. I feel like Liza is going to be very genuine because she was even giving in Malaysia pointers or like, the whole Malaysia and Jackie situation. She felt like, Jackie and Malaysia are like, their family, the way they're described. So I feel like, they can't actually be friends and talk to each other and mend their relationship. Yeah.
yeah, I do.
So then, okay, so Evelyn wants to mend Jackie and Malaysia's relationship. And now you were speaking about this earlier. Yeah, let's go. Let's revisit that.
Yeah, I'm so glad we are because I don't think that as we were talking about Evelyn earlier, I don't think that Evelyn can amend anything, not until she comes face to face with reality in regards to her situation, things that's been happening with her. So it's like, let's be realistic here, sis. Like, what, how have you amended? Like, you and OG, you guys have. I mean, yeah, there are going through some lawsuits and some legal stuff, but it's just like, how have you come face with that? You haven't even come in reality that the stuff that you said, like the things that you said that could have been colorist or could have sound somehow as if you are like maybe racist or making some comments that could potentially hurt the person. It's like a lot of things that she's done in the past. She has not taken accountability for that. So it's like, how can you come and try to amend things when you can't even face your own reality? When you can't say, okay, me, Evelyn, I need some work. When you have to agree to say, I need to work on myself. So this whole trying to get in Malaysia and Jackie together that's not for me. I mean, eventually, Malaysia walked off. When Jackie came, Malaysia's like, she's not really having it, so she walked off. So there you have it.
Exactly. Like Malaysia, she did walk off. She was just like, she's not here for all of that. Like it was kind of a bum rush, like like a bum rush. I feel like it was a bum rush to Malaysia. Although, like she did tell Jackie, like she did tell, um, she did tell Malaysia like, well, she was asking Malaysia, how do you feel about men and things with Jackie? Malaysia said, yeah, she's open to it, but like not at that moment. It's like Evelyn. So you like to do things to people, but when it's done to you, oh, it's okay. You don't like when people bring other people to, dinner, so maybe people that you don't like, but it's okay when you do it. And I think I'm with Malaysia. I'm glad that she did walk off. Although, yeah, like her and Jackie, I feel like, their relationship can be savaged, but it just, it wasn't the place or the time. Like she wasn't ready for it yet.
And I honestly think that Malaysia is not really the person. If Jackie and Malaysia wanted to come together, they could come together, um, and actually work things out for their own. By themselves. They didn't really need a mediator, or especially Evelyn, to do that. I don't know what Evelyn is trying to portray this. Maybe she has a different character of what she's trying to portray. So we'll see because she seems like she's all of a sudden turned a new leaf. So
Yeah. Oh, so we did
or
not see.
maybe now Sin. Let me hold on. Let me just say something. Now I could be wrong, but I'm thinking, does she want to maybe take Shawnee's place? Like maybe she feels like since Shawnee will be moving, maybe I'll be the new the head, the head be in charge and maybe try to get the girls together and maybe she feels like she's the OG after Shawnee.
I mean, I feel like she probably does, but Jack, if I were you, that's not a place you want to be in. Shawnee needs to come back and finish what she started. She-
Exactly. Not for
don't
Evelyn.
let the
Definitely not.
heat fall on you. This is going to be a controversial season, and she is just taking the weak way out and walking her way out of there. Do not let Shawnee, let Shawnee convince you into having all of the heat fall on you. This is going to be a very controversial season. Very controversial season. And Shawnee is taking the weak way out and she is leaving. She's going to Houston. She's going to Houston. But then Malaysia lives in Atlanta, but she's still filming. Why is it okay for Shawnee to be quote unquote leaving, but Malaysia's still there? Malaysia still has to leave her kids in Atlanta. That's why I feel like Shawnee is just going to be an EP instead of a cast member. She had to make that decision. They had to make that decision for her.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
that was the way they mediated that situation.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know, Jackie, if I were you, if you were, if you want to take the place of what Shawnee, I wouldn't even say Shawnee's, role or the matriarch of the group. Yeah, Jack, but you have to also be able to have a real conversation, with things that are actually going on and holding, both sides accountable.
Correct.
Hmm. Okay, so we did not see Kristen or we didn't see a lot of the ladies. We didn't see Kristen or the two new girls. British is supposed to be coming back. So we didn't see any of them. So what role do you think Kristen is going to take on this season?
Um. So what exactly does Krish? Because last season, did she really have a storyline besides Cece? Who Cece's not in the show, so it's like, what is that? What storyline does Kristen have to offer this season? Maybe she's going to um possibly be on Evelyn's side, or join forces with Evelyn. That's what I'm thinking. Or she may just be, I don't know what her storyline that she's offering this season.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that, so this are my thoughts. I feel like since Shawnee is gone, she's going to start trying to redeem herself since Shawnee has left. So, because Shawnee was the one who brought her onto the show. Kristen's gonna try to start redeeming herself and try to, appeal to the audience since Shawnee's no longer there.
Interesting. Interesting. I feel like she's gonna be neutral out of all like whatever's going on. She may just be neutral and just be like the Kristen. Maybe just be herself, possibly.
Exactly. Like, yeah, she may be like the Kristen that the real Kristen without Cece, without her being all up on, Shawnee. Since Shawnee's leaving, I feel like we may get the real Kristen. And maybe her and OG I don't know, may mend their relationship or so. And I think that okay, so this is my thing. I've heard Kristen have a conversation. Like I've heard her have like her interviews and stuff. Kristen seems a little bit more, she seems like more ready. I feel like she can hold that conversation, have that conversation with, the whole colorism situation. I feel like Kristen, if she was not so up Shawnee and Evelyn's, you know, but I feel that Kristen seems like she will be ready, since Shawnee is leaving. I feel like we'll have Kristen maybe talking more about this issue.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. So we get, they show them like entire trailer for the season. And I don't know, like, so they're gonna go to a mansion, obviously. They're gonna be going to a mansion, and yeah. And we see Jen and the two other ladies, Phoebe, and yeah. So I don't know, like, and how the season's gonna be. Of course, COVID plays a big part of it. Um, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's just it's I don't know how to say. I don't know this season. I hope it's not too bland. Because I know towards the ending, that's when they realized COVID just hit, and it just seems like a lot of stuff was getting canceled, and yeah. So I don't know how this season will turn out.
Yeah, I don't know either, but we'll just, we'll see. How many episodes do you think you're gonna get until you check out?
Oh my goodness! It just feels like I'm even getting. It seems like now I feel like I'm getting checked out, even with the first season, season premiere. So maybe I'm just gonna give it to maybe the third episode, and we'll know from there.
Yeah. So, any thoughts or opinion about this episode or this season? Did we miss anything?
I let me just make sure. We talked about. Let's see. I don't think we missed anything. We covered majority of everything, and not so much happened. We covered it, and then we have a scene where OG and Quam, I believe, where she's kind of discussing with Quam in regards to the legal issues that she's having with Evelyn. And they're planning a dinner party for all the ladies to meet. So she's like, she doesn't know how that's going to be because they haven't really talked about it. So I think everyone's at all right now in regards to just meeting everyone.
Yeah. So I think that OG, I feel like, okay, so OG is planning to build a house with Kwame, who is her boyfriend. So I don't think you were here, Lucy, when I said this, but I was saying that why would OG build something like a house or so with someone who is just her boyfriend? Like they bought land
Uh,
and everything. Like
Interesting.
that's my only comment. Like, oh gee, like, you guys are not really, you guys are still dating. I mean, they've been together for a while, but I don't know. Like, it seems like she's ready for marriage. Like OG is ready because
Yeah,
she was like,
because she even said, she's currently she's not really a fiance at the moment. She's just a girlfriend, and she said it in the past, like past seasons that she was ready to settle down. But I guess it all depends on Kwame. And she even mentioned like something about kids. So it's like OG is ready to have this a family settle down, and it's just again she's like waiting on Kwame.
yeah, it's like, what is holding Kwame up? Like, what exactly is holding Kwame up? Like, you guys are together. You guys have been together for a while. Like, maybe he's just scared to be. Maybe he's scared to be married.
And maybe, possibly, and maybe they're doing things. Maybe hopefully they'll do something that works out for them. Um, because if they, and it's just, I guess I would just leave it at this. They'll do whatever works for them. If she just wants to, I mean, who wouldn't want to be married? And especially if you've been together for long and you see this person as someone you see as long term. Why wouldn't you make that next move? Again, you're right. Maybe he could be scared, but at the same time, it's like we're building a house together, and it's like we don't really have anything to say that this is we are bonded. But who knows? I feel like it's just one of those touchy subjects where it's like I would just say they should do what works for them.
Yeah, I just feel like, oh, gee, if that makes you happy, if you guys, it works for y'all, but I think that you can tell she's definitely ready. But
Yeah, she is. She's mad. And when they were, she was like, "Oh, baby making," and I'm just like, "Oh, she's definitely ready for
yeah,
that."
she quit her, not quit, but she retired from playing football. It's her career as a professional athlete. And she's like ready to settle down. She's ready to get married. She's ready for the whole, kids, house. So it's like she wants it all. But hey,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. I mean, buying your own land, that's good. That's really, really good.
That's
So that's
awesome.
really good. Yeah. But I think it's building a house with your husband sounds better than building a house with your boyfriend.
Yeah, that's true. But again, that's something OG and Kwame or OG needs to decide.
Because okay,
And they
like
may.
because okay, for instance, let's say, I have a feeling that in my heart, I have a feeling that they're definitely going to be eventually they're gonna be married, because I feel like, he loves her so much, she loves him, but I just feel like, taking the next step. But okay, legally what binds them? Like, if you're building a house with somebody, if somebody, you guys break up or so, what is sorry guys, what is going to be like who's going to own it? Like you guys decide to split.
Exactly. And that's again where it could be possibly a little messy when things get messy, and no legalities involved and the court's not involved. It's like, how are you guys going to amend that?
Yeah, who keeps the house though? Is it the
Exactly.
person
So
who puts the
that's
most
it's
money?
a little bit messy. That's why I was saying they should do what works for them, because um if they're not really thinking about, if Kwame's not thinking about, marriage, or he feels like it's not really the time. I mean, it's interesting because we see that bond, because you can't be with someone this long and it's like you don't possibly see them in the future. There may be something there where he's like holding back, but we'll see.
I think he probably is just, I think, some people are just like scared.
Yeah, scared. Yeah,
But you can't be scared if you've been with someone for such that
exactly.
long.
You've seen her down. You've seen her go
And
through
you've
last
been there.
or there. Yeah. So it's like, so hopefully we'll see some changes, or he hopefully soon he'll pop the question.
Yeah, I think it possibly would be maybe this year. Like I feel like he probably popped the question like this year, but yeah, we don't know. But then again, you just want to be careful because no one you don't rush yourself into marriage if you feel like you're not ready. Because people go into marriages you know, people get married when they don't feel like they're all the way ready for marriage. So yeah. I don't know, my overall goal, my overall thoughts for this episode, I felt like it was kind of lackluster, for for being a premiere. Um, I feel that why do they always want to? There's like draw. I have a feeling they're gonna draw out this whole season. Like it's not gonna start getting good until mid or the last part of the season,
Short,
like they did with
short
Atlanta.
Lives, yeah, like they're going to have that scene where they're gonna have an episode where it's like, okay, it gets fun. We meet all the ladies, and so I feel like they're gonna drag it out as much as possible.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Um, just be sure, like, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. This was kind of like a review a little bit, but not so much of a review. We're just talking about at the episode pretty much. Um, but we didn't go like scene by scene, just like the main things that happened on the episode. But so far it was okay. You know, like we said, it's definitely gonna get better. So be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Please, please like and also subscribe. That really helps us out. So make sure you also watch part 1 of the live because we were having a little bit of technical difficulty. So this is going to be part 2. Yeah. Do you have any closing statements, Lucy?
I don't. I'll just say, guys, thank you for your support. And again, we're just the stuff that we say in this channel is, we like to just keep it on. We just like to keep it real, very honest in regards. We don't take sides, especially when it comes to these reviews. We just speak from. We just say what we see, and that's it. So we're just giving our very honest opinions. So
Very honest opinions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Peace, love, and blessing.